Marty Schwartz here with Marty Music, and we're going to learn Jingle Bell Rock. Very fun, and also happy holidays out there. If you haven't yet, I appreciate you subscribing to the channel, and you can request stuff in the comments below. Check the links as well. All right, let's learn this. So the song's in the key of D major, so if you went up here, it's a little piece of the D major up an octave. So that's the 14th fret high E and the 15th fret of the B. Then you cover the 14th fret with the index finger, so that B string's going down a half step. Then go back to the original shape, and you're going to hit it once, and then pinky on the 17. So. And that middle finger stays planted, but after that, I'm now going to the G 14th fret while that middle finger is still on the 15 of the B. And then that goes up a whole step. Then you bend that double stop like a half step. So. Back down to the original spot, which is 14 and 15. Then index finger on the 12th fret G and B. Then down a whole step, hammer, and then immediately hammering that 11 of the G, which makes a D major. So. And if you're playing it by yourself, that's a fun little bass line to add. It's based off an A7 chord. You go 5, 3, 2, 0 chord. So. D major, then D major 7, which is the same chord, but the middle finger is now on the 6th fret of the G. So D major 7, then D major 6 is the next chord, and this is how I think you should play it. So my pinky is staying there, like it is already at the D major 7 chord. Middle finger's hitting the root now. And I'm grabbing that 4th fret on the G string. That index finger is just muting that D string, but if it was open, it totally works. And if you're covering it, totally works as well. I think it sounds better just muted. So. Here's the thing, though. If you're a beginner and you don't want to play that lick, you don't want to play the bass line, you just want to try and sing it. So it's just a D chord, but we're adding colors from the melody into the D chord. D major 7, D major 6, back to D major. So the next move is you've ended on the D. So D, D major 7, D major 6, D, D sharp diminished, E minor, A. So that D sharp diminished could also be an E flat diminished. Could be a few others names as well. But we'll just call it D sharp because the root's right there. Diminished. So it's not that hard. It's a more unusual chord, but it's not, there's no crazy stretches or anything. It's great for these little jazzy kinds of songs. They're like almost serve when you play a blues note, which is like a passing tone, these little jazz chords are like that version, but with chords. It adds some really nice tension up from D to E minor. Instead, you have, it's those little extra flavors. So D major 7, D major 6, D, D sharp diminished, E minor, A. Now let me show you that diminished. Middle finger on that 6th fret A. Ring finger is on the 7th fret D. And then 5th fret G string with your index finger. And that pinky is still on that same spot from that D chord, or the D major 7 chord, and the D major 6 chord. And we're going to be seeing that shape a little bit later too. So sharp diminished, E minor, A. Now E minor here could be E minor 7, and A can be A major, it can be A7, it can be A9, and it can be A13. They're all going to work, but you could also just play E minor, A, E minor, A. So D major 7, D major 6, D major, D sharp diminished, E minor, A, E minor, and A, E minor, A, E minor a little bit longer, then the A walk down. E minor, A, then E minor, So that's the form of the first verse. But then when it goes to the second verse, this is the second verse. This is all the same. Diminished, E minor, A, E minor, A, E minor, A. Just this little thing. E minor, A, so let me show you that. This is the second verse. Normal, 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 as before. Just like before, just before. E minor, A, E minor, A, but this time now, E minor, A, D, 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 G chord. That same diminished shape, but in another spot. So we could call this, I'm calling it G sharp diminished, but you can use the exact same shape we did here, but a half step down. It's also the same thing as D diminished. The thing about a diminished chord is each note that you use in it can be the root of that chord. It can be called, D diminished is the exact same thing as F diminished. But to add that bass tension, if you can, get that G sharp in the bass with your thumb. So I form the shape, then grab. It's like, that. So G chord, G sharp diminished, D, 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 then up to E, E major, and E7, A, and we'll walk it down. one more thing, and then it's the whole song, and I'll play all the way through it with you at the end. If you've made it this far, congratulations. Starts the same: D major 7, D major 6, D major, D sharp diminished, but now B7 instead of E minor. So I'm just playing it right there, barred on the 7th fret. It's like a major, but with the pinky off. After that B7, it's one more new little set. G major, G minor 7, E minor A, D. So one more time. That's all you need, except for the very end. That's the jingle bell. That's the jingle bell. That's the jingle bell. You know what I'm saying? So that's just repeating E minor, A, E minor, A, E minor, A, D, do 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 do. And by the way, E minor 7 to A7 to D major, that's called a 2-5-1. Very common progression, especially in jazz songs. Lots of 2-5-1s. Okay? Now, I'm just going to go real slow through the whole song. You might want to bookmark this part. If you're practicing it and you're starting to get it down, you can start right here. Starting with the lick nice and slow. Go to an A, D major 7, D6, back to D, D sharp diminished, E minor, A, E minor to A, E minor to A, E minor, A, walk down, D major 7, D6, D sharp diminished, E minor, A7, E minor, A, E minor, A, E minor, A, D, and G chord, G sharp diminished, D major, then G, then E major, E7, A, walk it down. D major 7, D6, D sharp diminished, B7, G major, G minor 7, E minor, A7, D, E minor, A7, E minor, A7, E minor, A7. All right, hope you guys enjoyed the lesson. Thank you again for the continued support. You can request stuff in the comments below. Also check out some killer links down there. That's it for now. Hope to see you again real soon. And once again, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, happy everything. See you later.